Hello, welcome back to another exciting video. And in this video, you will going to see a firing game on the board. So let us go through without wasting any time. And this game is played between Hikaru Nakamura versus Magnus Carlsen in the Carlsen Chess 2 2020. Like so, by the chess able. And let us start now, and I'm waiting for this game, and Nakamura was white, and he begins with a move pawn to e4, e5 by Magnus, knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to b5, knight to f6, pawn to d3, bishop to c5, and bishop captures on c6, d captures on c6, and knight bd2. So like planning to go like knight to c4 at some point. So black castled. So pawn to h3, like stopping some like bishop g4 or knight g4 at some point maybe. So knight d7, like supporting the pawn, as well as like pawn to f6 is maybe come at some point. So knight to c4, well, building the pressure on the e5 pawn. So a5 by Magnus. So now there is a couple of moves like bishop to e3, queen to e2, and castle as well. But to beat world champion, you need to play differently. And Nakamura chooses to play pawn to g4. So rook to e8 and rook to g1. Well, Nakamura is very aggressive and he need to crush Magnus' king. And he is trying all his nerves to beat him. So let's go ahead. Pawn to a4. So knight to e3, like some point going like knight to f5. But Magnus stops and takes on e3. Bishop captures on e3, then knight to f8 by Magnus. So pawn to h4, queen to d6, queen to d2. Well, like making a space for the king to castle. So c5. And now it's most important here to push g5 or h5. And Nakamura is well known and he played pawn to h5, like freeing the h4 square for the knight, and as well as aiming to go to f5 as well. So b5 by Magnus, knight to h4 according to the plan, queen to c6, knight to f5, and pawn to c4 by Magnus. But let us see a couple of options here, that is like pawn to g6, h captures, then this is a open file for the white pieces to launch an attack towards the black king. So like rook h1 and knight is here, and bishop and queen are may join later. So this is not working and this is very hard for black. So let's see another move, that is like after the move knight to f5, let us see bishop capture on f5, g captures, then this is also a very hard game for black because g file is opened. So Magnus Carlsen chooses to play pawn to c4 after the move knight to f5. So Nakamura played a calm move, that's queen to b4. So a3. Well, if I move like knight to e7 in this position, then like forking queen and king, then this is not working because after the rook captures, queen captures, then a captures on b2 and rook b1 and rook captures on a2 collapses everything, and this is very hard game for white. So Nakamura is well known with this and he played the move pawn to b3. So c capture on d3, c capture on d3, and queen to c2. So here pawn to h6, a good move by Nakamura. So j6 by black, but knight to e6 is another option here. So let us see g6, which was played in the game. Sorry, g6, rook to c1. Well, like attacking the queen. Well, instead of rook c1, if a move like knight e7 check, then there is a move like, sorry, rook captures, queen captures, then queen to c3 check. Then if a move like king to e2, then bishop into g4 check. Then if it captures, then no problem whatsoever. Here, like playing the move like queen to c2 check, and then this is not good for white. Almost equal, you may say. So let me go back. After the move rook to c1, like after the move rook to c1, then queen capture on d3, rook to d1. Well, here like knight e7 check, rook captures, queen captures, and there is a couple of moves like queen f6 and left followed by mating on g7, and here the rook is coming as well, but Nakamura misses this. I think he is going for the another way, but let us see what has happened on the game. So let me go back now. Like after the move rook to c1, queen captured on d3, rook to d1, queen to c2, and knight to g7 by Nakamura. So bishop b7. Well, here bishop to e6 is a good move. Like it is also losing. White is winning in this game, in this position, but bishop to e6 would be better. But bishop to b7 was played in the game. So rook captured. So knight captured the rook. Rook captures back and exchange down for black now. So pawn to f3, and this is a very good move and a bold move by Nakamura. This bishop is no longer on the game now. These 3 pawns are very strong now and makes bishop completely useless. So queen capture on a2, rook to d2, and queen to b1 check, king to f2, and pawn to a2. So queen to c3, then rook to a8. So now rook captured on b1, pawn captures with the queen. So b1 queen, and queen captures on e5. Well, now if like knight to e6, then like in this position like queen captures on e5, Magnus resigns the game. But like if a move like a very random move, like if a move like knight to e6, bishop to d4, well, this is losing, and sorry, this the game is over. If you captures, then queen g7 is checkmate. Like both are losing, like you cannot save your game now. Black king will checkmate in one move. So after the move like queen captures on e5, Magnus resigns the game. Your comments and questions please about this game. Hope you liked it, and please do subscribe to get instant updates and like this video, and I will meet you in another video. Till then, take care and bye for now.